Today we have a very exciting topic, three secrets of feminine magnetism. And I'm here tonight with our magnetic women, Shpresa and Vivian. And while you're watching this video, do something very useful for yourself. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure to click on the bell, and every week you're going to be notified on all of the amazing videos and tips that I share here. My absolute gold, my best advice for your personal love life that gets my clients and students into the best relationship of their life. Subscribe right here and hit that bell.
I'm very excited about tonight.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. And so as we go into the secrets of feminine magnetism, first of all, let's talk about what is blocking us from completely unleashing that feminine magnetism. And of course, we are independent women who are used to be making our own decisions, being in charge, and sometimes leading with our masculine. Is that right? So maybe Shpresa, you can say a couple of words how you were leading with your masculine before our program.
But I wasn't in touch with my feminine, and I wasn't learned to relax, and I wasn't learned to evaluate the feminine within me. So that would become very hard for me then to attract a good guy, a good quality man, because all of them, they were like intimidated, and all what I was getting was respect, was admiration, but not that kind of attractiveness and that kind of like polarity of feminine and masculine. I was attracting men who were more feminine maybe, and also like that would accept, want me to be their friend, their sister, their, I don't know, but not their woman, I mean. And this thing was creating the kind of frustration because it was going for a long time, and that was the main thing that led me to Lupa, to her teachings. And after I started the Goddess Journey, the program that she offers to every magnetic woman, and that journey totally transformed me, and it was really magical. The things that started to happen just from the within the first month that I enrolled in her program.
What started to happen? I know you started to get different kind of attention from men, right?
Yes, exactly. So, as she explained in lots of her lives, the first time part is the deserving mind, and therefore there I had to make some really changes. I was really committed to make all the changes and all the preparation and all the homework, the applying of the methods. I was really committed to make this year the a successful year in my love life, and so yeah, I really did that, and it worked. It worked. Since the first month, I was starting to feel different. First of all, feel different within me, then act differently than the way that I was learned to, like just stay more relaxed, lean back, just be more into receiving mode, not this hard going and pursuing and all of that, like my way, and my stand controlling, wanted to make things happen, that grabbing energy, not but this silent and receiving energy, and just being comfortable in my own skin, loving myself, believing that I'm worthy, and that the love that I am worthy and that I deserve will just come to me because I am a magnetic woman and I deserve it. And yeah, so this shift within me that took time. It didn't happen like this, but it took a little bit time to this thing to go deep in me, in my psyche. But they were really making results for me in the real life. I mean, my coworkers starting to notice my energy that was shifting. They starting to pay me compliments. They started to ask me to just take me everywhere I needed. Men that were offering to serve me, and I was noticing that something is really, really different. I mean, it was phenomenal, this kind of thing. I
Yeah,
was getting feedback.
yeah, it's fantastic. And also even the way you looked changed drastically from inside. First of all, from inside, but also there were some magnetic changes that you also did to your appearance, which we can talk about a little bit later. But yes, fantastic, beautiful. And Vivian, what can you say about your experience so far? You are on the journey now, and also you can witness something that has been shifting for you. So tell us, what was the most exciting thing? What was like, yes, like a full yes.
Well, yes, growing my feminine side, I was very much like her, you know, and wanting to push forward and be strong and take what I want and, you know, all of that, you know. So, you know, I have softened that a lot, you know, and people are noticing, you know, and I'm getting texts and emails and, you know, ask out, you know, a lot. And so, and the other thing I did because of the shift in energy is, you know, I've lost like 20 pounds, you know, I bought some new clothes, you know, got some new jewelry, you know, it just inspires you, you know, to step up your game.
Absolutely. And you know, our one of our students, Elsie, she told me yesterday that after she started the program in a month now, she has a personal coach and she works out every morning.
Yep.
And you know, it's not anything that we really recommended in the program, but it just
Right.
happened. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's happening. You really want to be, because you feel that it is so close, it is so possible. And
Yeah.
especially when all these beautiful women are supporting you and looking at you and holding you as a beautiful goddess in their own consciousness, that
Mhm.
definitely makes the gigantic shift. So I want to talk about some steps today, how to get into your feminine magnetism, or rather even just to unleash it, because you already have it. You already have it. It's inside of you. It's that lover inside of you, the inner lover that at a certain point was probably very open and very loving and tender and active. And then maybe it was shut down. Maybe she, in that lover inside of you, was shut down. And then you made a decision, something in you made a decision. Okay, I am not going to allow anyone to hurt me anymore. I'm going to come out strong. I'm going to take what I need. I am not going to be this vulnerable little thing. And so this brings us to a very interesting, actually, point about immature feminine and mature feminine. Because when we are in this inner lover, when we are in the beginning of our life, we're still a princess or we're still a little girl. And so what's happening is that we are really looking for approval. We're looking for the world to come and tell us who we are, or to come and tell us that we are beautiful. It's very rare when a woman is growing up in a way that she completely already knows that, yes, that's it, I am this diva, I am the goddess. It's very rarely it's happening. Although I want to tell you that I'm hoping that the new generation is actually much more open to that. And the new generation is so much more so creative with their ways of expression and owning their uniqueness. And so that is very inspiring. But most of the women, at least the ones that I've worked with, of known, which is probably more than 10,000 people, most of the women really at a certain point shut down this lover. And sometimes it expresses itself in a way that sexuality is shut down. Sometimes it just expresses itself that that inner lover just really starts to hide, because the woman is not yet has not yet made a shift from a girl to a woman. So the secret number one, the safety of unleashing your feminine magnetism, comes with that shift, when we shift from a girl to a woman. And what does it mean? First of all, I want to complain that there is no ritual in our culture. So let's talk about that shift from a girl to a woman. And how does it happen? What allows for that shift to happen? What allows for you to just release that necessity, release that need to be validated by other people, whether it's men or women? What makes it possible for you to finally all of a sudden just say, okay, I am the final authority on myself. I'm the final authority on what I look like, what I want to look like. So what is necessary? So let's hear from both of you. I want to really, really show our audience how you absorb the material and what is true for you. And before I ask you those questions, I also want to say that we have a 15-minute consultation available with our coaches, and Spress is our rising star coach as well, who is being trained in our system now how to provide this to other people. And this is very, very exciting. And so tomorrow we'll be coming in with some more people from our program. We really have a real tribe. And soon we'll have a whole full tribe gathering, which is going to be very, very exciting. So I want to hear from you. What do you feel, and what was it for you that was this key moment, this absolutely pivotal moment when you all of a sudden you were like, you know what? I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I am falling in love with this woman in the mirror. I do love myself. I love my body, no matter what it is. And if something is not to my liking, I'm gonna easily fix it. And if I can't, I'm just going to easily love it. And so what was it for you, Espressa?
Well, for me, it was first of all one of the practices that you suggest. It's one of the meditations, the Attract Love meditation. I was listening to it every night attentively, and I was really tuning in into that energy, and that helped a lot for this mental concept that you offered in your lessons to just settle also into my body, also into deep into my psyche and deep into my subconscious. And that was the first and easy one, and the other one was the applying uh, of your suggestions that you offered, for example, to talk to myself in a loving way, because I also used to have a harsh inner critic. I
Mhm.
also used to criticize myself and judge myself very harshly when I wasn't performing as I thought at my best, and also for not achieving things that I wanted to achieve, and failing, or just life, so when that things happened, I would used to blame myself. And then I started to talk to myself in a most loving way, to accept different parts of myself, and just to look for the inner beauty, for the outer beauty everywhere where I could find it, and to emphasize that, to focus on that. And that was, I think, the shift. I really starting to feel like I'm loving myself more. And then when I love myself more, I started to treat myself differently. And when I started to treat myself differently, then other people too started to treat me differently.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. So who else experiences this voice inside? And this voice, this inner critic, sometimes it comes like as a spinster, sometimes it comes as some kind of dominating inner masculine, and sometimes it comes and it sounds like a voice of one of your parents or a grandmother, possibly. And who else has this voice that says sometimes things which are pretty harsh about yourself? Put it into the comments. Yes, I have the inner critic, and I'm ready and committed to make friends with the inner critic, because the inner critic actually paralyzes you. This desire for perfection is a trap. Desire for perfection often doesn't allow us to act. It doesn't allow us to go out there. It doesn't allow us to be visible. It makes us hide, and it makes it difficult for us to allow for the divine light just to shine through. So that inner critic, that definitely is one of the first things that just has to be a friend instead of a critic. Okay, beautiful. Vivian, what was it for you?
Well, the meditations are wonderful, but our weekly meetings and the one-on-one sessions are really meaningful to me. I just learn and grow so much from our talks, and the ideas that you share with us, I just live those.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Fantastic. And I want to talk a little bit more actually about this inner critic and the voice that sounds like the voice of your parents. So this is something very important to understand. A lot of us, as we're growing up from the very beginning, depend on our parents for survival. And our mom, for example, is usually our first love. And so we look at those parents, whether they are present or not, in some way like gods. So it's a god and a goddess. Those are the most important people in the world. And maybe one of them is missing, or maybe one of them is unstable, or maybe one of them, there is something wrong with them. And so when we move from a girl to a woman, within that shift, we also recognize that our parents are just people, that they're not gods. Maybe everyone is God, but to that extent, definitely. But on the other side, they are just people, and nobody really taught them how to raise children. They never went to school for that, most likely. And most likely they have their own challenges in life, their own karma, their own mission, their own conversation with God. And most likely they did whatever they could, even if it didn't look like that. And so when we ground into that thought and we stop blaming them, and we get out of this victim mentality and we take responsibility for our life, then that's when the shift happens. It happens, and all of a sudden we are the final authority. We are also the final responsibility. So with great power comes great responsibility. And then we say, all right, nobody is coming to save me. There is no Prince Charming. In fact, if I want to be saved, it's going to be Prince Harming, you know. And as we talk about the Cinderella story, right, that the story in the collective subconscious is actually about a girl, Cinderella, who doesn't really like herself, and she is in this victim role. Nobody likes her. She doesn't have good parents. She's working all the time, and then she is being rescued by this prince. So the girl, the princess in us, wants to be rescued by the prince, but the woman in us doesn't have to be rescued. Not only she doesn't have to be rescued, but also she doesn't have to rescue anyone either. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because the step number 2 is to get out of this necessity to solve somebody's problems, to rescue them, to feel like righteous or powerful or magical, because there is something that you can change in another person. I mean, it's all right to feel that way if you're doing it professionally, and it's also all right to feel that way if you're serving the world without expectations. That's all great. But when we are talking about relationships between sexual partners, so partners who have some kind of sexual tension, intensity, whether it's men or women, this rescuing situation and feeling that you are the only one giving, and you are basically accumulating that resentment at a certain point, and your inner lover is not being nurtured. Actually, that is a story that is happening to many women right now, especially to women with big open heart. So I want to ask our audience, if this is a story that has been happening with you, please put it into the comments. And usually what happens is that makes you attract narcissists. It makes you attract men who are emotionally unavailable, and men who just don't truly, fully, deeply appreciate you for who you are, and who are not going to make you happy in the long run. So that is a very important point, to get out of those roles. So get out of the masculine, get out of the rescuer. Okay, second point. Let's talk about, we'll talk about the third point is going to be the most sweet and cool and interesting, and we'll be talking about sexual energy. But the second point, which is very important, is the ability to speak your needs and set the boundaries. And what does that mean? When we are able to do that, then we start projecting ourselves. That's probably my mom calling. She always calls when we go live on Facebook. Yes, it just always happens. Yes, that's my mother calling. You know, she is very intuitive, and she just knows. Here we are. Okay, Malas. So I'm keeping Facebook open for the transmission. But anyway, so yeah. So why is it so important? And I want to hear it from you, to project yourself as a high value woman, and to be able to express your needs and to set boundaries. So let's hear from Shpresa first.
Yes, so why is this important? Because if we don't do that, we are going to repeat that pattern. The rescuer, the victim, the perpetrator, we are going to just repeat it in every relationship. So it would be a different guy with a different face, but it's the same pattern, the same person, and the same traits. And if we examine our past relationships, we could find this really common, like that those guys have some similar traits. And therefore, learning, as we learned in the program, our value, first of all, and learning how to speak our value, how to hold our value, how to set clear and firm boundaries, but with love, in a loving and feminine way. That is crucial, I think, for us to have the relationship with the mature man, and also to feel that we are not the giver, and to not build resentment, but to feel that also we are mature, and we are uh, our needs are met. Okay, we are feeling loved as we deserve, in the
Thank
way that we deserve.
Thank you so much for saying our needs are met. It reminded me of saying you are responsible for your needs to be met. That is your responsibility. Nobody is going to take that responsibility upon themselves. It's you. Your needs need to be met, not only in the sense that your feminine needs to be nourished. And sometimes we have this phrase in the program when we say to a man, for example, when he's not showing up often enough, we have a rule of three and we give him three possibilities if he's a man of his word. Because if he's not a man of his word, we give no possibilities. But if he is a man of his word and he is just not showing up as often as we would like, we can say, well, I'm a delicate flower and I need much more attention than that, or much more watering than that. A delicate flower like me needs so much more watering than that. And so that is something that you're communicating, and you feel that you are responsible for that need. And if we don't feel that we're responsible for our needs, that makes us not fit for a relationship, actually. Because then when we get into a relationship, we start playing games and we start losing ourselves. And the more we lose ourselves, actually, the harder it becomes if we break up to get back to ourselves. Okay, so that's a very important point as well. So boundaries allow us not to lose, not to merge with the man too fast. Yeah. And also setting boundaries allows us to protect also ourselves sexually, and to be very clear that first the heart needs to feel safe and the heart needs to feel nurtured, and only then you will allow somebody into this beautiful heart, into this precious body, into the tenderness of your inner lover. So those boundaries make us feel safe to express actually our feminine magnetism. Vivian, what is your take on this?
Well, I think that some of the things we've learned is about loving yourself and knowing that you are adorable and that your approach should be that, to be soft and kind and um, know what you want, but handle it in such a way that your feminine side really shows.
Yeah, yeah, and I love the way you said it. It really it sounded very soft, and at the same time, it sounded strict, right? So you know
Exactly.
exactly that is a perfect, unbeatable combination. All right, my love. So let us go into our third secret, the actual sexual appeal. What is that? What is the sexual appeal? Well, first of all, of course, it is something that we already talked about, is the holding of the polarity. So um we become friends with people who have a lot in common with us, right? Because there is something that resonates, and maybe we have a similar vision, similar universe, similar aesthetics, or similar vibration, whatever that is. But with a partner who is there romantically, and the word romantic has like a connotation right now, actually, in the coaching circles. Romantic love sometimes is being looked upon in a way that that is a misleading kind of love. This is this love cocktail. But let's say if you are with someone that you want to feel excited about, someone that you want to experience passion with. So, and definitely you are absolutely entitled to feel that passion in your life, to feel that exciting energy, to have orgasmic energy flow through you as well. So when you want to create a relationship, especially a long-term relationship with a person that includes passion, then it is our differences, actually the differences in the energy, that start to play out, because that's what's exciting. It's exciting to see something in someone which you don't have, right? So that is one of the first points about sexual energy. Another point about sexual energy is, of course, the shame. The shame that we as women have been experiencing for centuries and centuries. And no wonder we have been experiencing that, because of the patriarchy, and because it's been common in most countries in this world, and it is still common in many countries, that somehow the masculine took upon itself the role to tell a woman what to do and what to do, not to do with her body and with her sexuality. Somehow, for some reason, men decided that they have an authority on what you should be doing and not doing with your own self. So, coming to the place that your body belongs to you and your desire is sacred is a very important point, which will help you unleash that sexual appeal. And when you have your boundaries set, when you know that you can protect yourself, you can say no with love, when you know that you deserve the best, then it becomes safe to really give that gift of your sexual energy to the world, to show up as this abundant, fragrant flower, and really to light up the room, to light up. And so, Shpresa, what has been your experience in this area?
Well, also for me, for a lot of my life as growing up, it was very difficult to embrace because of the cultural mentality, if I may say, to embrace this fact that, okay, I have my right in my sexuality, in my appeal, in my beauty, and it's safe and it's okay to just express it, and to be fun and light, and not to be that strict, serious woman. So yeah, it was really a challenge for me to open up to the pleasure, to my pleasure, to own my body, and also to express this kind of feminine flirtatious way into the real world. But within the program we also worked on that, and I was so thankful about that part, because it really unleashed this kind of energy in me. And I know maybe it was also one of my fears, that if I do that, maybe I can get hurt, and because I didn't have those safe boundaries that we have spoken till now, and I can get too much, maybe into too much, to a relationship that is toxic or something like that. And I didn't want that to happen. That's where I closed and I hide it. It would be more safe for me. This kind of thing was trying to protect me. This limiting belief or this idea was trying to protect me to not get hurt. But when I worked on this step by step, then in the feminine essence, in the feminine beauty, embody feminine beauty, there I think it was the unleashing of this kind of energy, and it was really great for me, a great experience after that. I feel more light and I feel more confident to do that whenever I find it that I need to do it or I want to do it. I feel like it.
Beautiful, Shpresa. It's probably mostly women who are watching, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to be getting attention even after this speech. Yeah, that definitely felt very, very magnetic. All right, Vivian, and what about you? Like, what is your take on this, on this specific, on this closing that gap? Yeah, closing that gap between Madonna and a woman who is loose, for example, closing the gap. And I know we didn't, in your program, we didn't fully go there, but we already started to work on this. So what is your feeling about this?
So, you know, teaching us those boundaries and how to deal with that, when a man wants to, have sex with you as soon as you meet and stuff like that, and being able to say, I'm a lady, and, you know, to push that down for a little while until you know what your feelings are, and grow them until you are ready for
Mhm.
sex. That's a really important issue. And then, some of the other things that you've helped us with is like knowing, the goddess within and feeling strong about that. And the good woman, bad girl,
Good
I think
woman,
that
girl.
that makes you feel, in the wild woman ways. I mean, so that when you're ready, you can unleash that part of you and make you, you know, make it all the better.
Amazing. Yes, I love that. And thank you for bringing up two extremely important points. Espresso brought up the point of pleasure,
Yeah.
and Vivian brought up the point of wildness. Yeah, magnetic woman being wild, wise and wild. So let's get into that. Those are very juicy topics. So pleasure. Yeah. So in the specifically in the Judeo-Christian platform, as well as some other platforms, pleasure has been looked upon in a way that it comes from devil. Yeah, very very often. And of course not by chance, right? Pleasure can be scary. Pleasure might be what? Egoistic, right? Pleasure, wanting pleasure might seem egoistic. Or, and by the way, our audience, please put into the comments again, hashtag live, and also put what kind of relationship you have with pleasure, if you allow yourself or actually actively open to receive pleasure on daily basis. So yeah, it's scary because you might want something so much. Let's say you're really enjoying something, and it's scary to get attached to it. It's scary to get hooked on that pleasure that, for example, is you're going to be deprived of later on, right? So that could be scary. So what is very important in receiving pleasure and opening up to pleasure? First of all, to create the kind of pleasure and open to pleasure that does not depend on other people. That is very important. That's fantastic. That really makes you feel very deserving, very feminine, and again, very sovereign. And there is so much pleasure in the world. And the truth is, if you look at children, and they're having so much pleasure, right? They're playing, they're drawing, they're singing, they're doing all kinds of things. And that little child is also inside of you. And that little girl is inside of you. And you should be giving her pleasure. You should be listening to her and asking her, so what didn't you get today? Yeah, so let me ask you, what kind of pleasure did you give to your little girl today, Shpresa?
Well, today I was really prone to eating a kind of dessert. It's my favorite dessert. And I was saying to myself, it has passed all the day and I did all the work and all the thing. So now I really you deserve that dessert, my little girl. And I give,
You,
yeah.
wow, you deserve that dessert. So amazing. I think we should put that into some kind of a meme. Is it meme, right? It's called, yeah, you deserve that dessert. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Vivian, what did you get for yourself as pleasure today?
Well, um, my pleasure, and this might sound odd, but I worked out, and it just gives me pleasure to, enjoy that workout and make my body better. And, that I gave that to my little girl, that I could be the best I could be. And that feels really good to me.
Yeah, that is a great pleasure. And look, that both of those pleasures, they don't depend on anybody. And I can
Right.
tell you the kind of pleasure that I gave myself today. For example, once a week I take a music class and I sing raga. And that is when my soul comes home, and I really can connect to very subtle musical vibrations that are very ancient, and take me away completely from everything else that I'm doing, the busy woman that I am. And I not only I do that, I also dance at least 3 times a week. And every time I dance, also, of course, I experience pleasure. So that pleasure is going to nourish and nurture your sexual appeal as well. The more pleasure you get, the more pleasurable your body feels, the more signals it is giving out to people around you that it is good to be you. And when you give out that signal, oh, it's good to be me, right? You're glowing. They what do they want? They want to touch you, they want to hug you, they want that energy, because you become like this candy. You become like this magical creature. You know, I have to tell you like one funny thing. So my friend has a child who didn't want to get presents from everyone, but he always got like he always would receive presents from me. He would love, he was a very sensitive child, and he always loved presents from me. So her mom said, well, of course Luba gave him presents, of course he's gonna love them, you know. And what she meant was that, yeah, it is that radiance that of course can be built. Now, how do you build it too? You can build it through tantric practices, you can build it through breath, opening your breath, right? Oxygenizing your body, letting your organs breathe, conscious breathing. There are different kinds of breathings that is going to make your heart lighter. And then also when you show up and you breathe, it actually also signals to another person, here I am, I love my life. I am not a working horse. I am not beating myself, you know, into the ground. Because when you give the signal, I'm busy, I can't do this, you know, then basically you are bringing your value down. You're bringing your feminine value down. Maybe your masculine value goes up. But when you're giving out the signals that I'm a working horse, a man, especially a narcissist, is going to be super happy to take advantage of that in you. Once they smell it in you, that yeah, here you go, here, yeah, I can tell she can, I can tell she's gonna work on everything, including all the issues in this relationship, including household chores, including everything. So that's why it's also very important to be in your pleasure. Okay. So now let's talk about the last topic, the wild woman, our most favorite topic of all times, right? And Vivian loves this topic. I'm going to ask Vivian to speak about that first. All right. So tell us, Vivian, what do you feel about the wild woman?
Well, she set you free. You know, I mean, you can bring out your inner goddess and you can dance and you can experience all the joy that goes with the wild woman. You know, she's been a big positive for me. You know, it makes things exciting and it helps me bring out my feminine side very, very much. So I'm so glad that we went there and we grew that concept.
Thank you. Yeah, I know you love that concept. And for you, Espresso, what does wild woman mean to you?
Well, for me, the wild woman was an previously unexplored territory, and when I started to explore, I just couldn't get enough of her because, yeah, as Vivian said, she is free. Yes, indeed, like she is free from self-judgment, first of all, which is the number one freedom. And the other freedom that is very important is the judgment of others. Like she doesn't care about it. It's so, she is just in her own pleasure, in her own wildness, in her own world. And all what she wants is she has only creatures that worship her, like, and she's doing all the things that she likes without even giving a minor like care what others are thinking or what others are saying, or just enjoying herself in her total vibrations. So she's also very variable. I mean, she's not never the same. She's surprising. Every time she's different. And this was hard for me because I was learned in one way, and here's like I am like this and like this and like this, and this is me. But then I explored some this other aspects of me who were really interesting even for me, was surprising even for me, and of course for the people around. So it was great. I
Yeah,
also
we love her. We love the wild woman. And what else is incredible about being spontaneous, about improvisation? Well, first of all, when you are spontaneous and you're unpredictable, that's when you become a moving target, right? So think about this. You are full of sexual appeal, you have boundaries, you're a high value woman, you are feminine in a soft way as well, and you're also unpredictable. That is super magnetic. Those are all the qualities that allow us to step forward in our feminine magnetism and really become that magnet, become that magnet. Why? Because when you are connected with your wild woman, then everyone wants that freedom as well. So they look at you, and just your existence by itself allows other people to relax. It allows other people to be themselves. And this is so beautiful, especially nowadays when everyone became a part of a computer, and all of a sudden there's this wild woman who is connected to nature, who is connected to her gut, to her intuition, and also connected to the most beautiful things that creation has to offer, which is the arts. So when your wildness is unleashed, and when you feel like you can be spontaneous, you can improvise, you can jump into something like Express and Vivian, I want to congratulate you today. This is by the way their first live, so everyone, please put something into the comments, maybe hashtag live, but also, yeah, congratulations, it's their very first live. And this is a very important also part of initiation of a wild woman, to come in without preparation, to be able to speak on any topic, to come in with unexpected ideas, which also makes you a great conversationalist, and also to be creative in terms of your own styles, your clothing, trying on different things, being enthusiastic and excited about life. And again, everyone is going to want to explore life with you when they see and feel that the doors are open, puertas abiertas, the doors to the world are open. So also, if you serve as this portal into the world, then being with you is an endless pleasure. You become this lifetime ride into unknown for a man. And what could be more precious than that right now, when there is so much competition? There are computer games, there are video games, there's porn, there is Tinder, there are so many things that can take this man away. So in some sense, when you show up as a goddess in somebody's world, that wildness of yours is the only thing that really he truly does not get anywhere else. Your own connection to the primordial mother, to the earth, to nature, to animals, to the body, to sexuality. This is priceless, and nobody will ever be able to take it away from the feminine of the planet. As long as we're alive, we're going to continue this lineage. And so we invite you to join us, to just come and talk to us for 15 minutes. It's lubaevans.com/15 minutes, and just talk to one of our coaches and see if we can help you also reach your relationship goals, and to start living the most joyful life, and also to enjoy the sisterhood that we share. So let's finish by talking about the sisterhood experience, which I cherish definitely incredibly highly. Yeah. So Vivian, how is it happening for you right now in the group?
Well, you get to experience so much compadre, in our groups, and we share, and we're really comfortable with each other, so it is like a sisterhood. And the feelings make you understand that you are not alone in this. And that is one of the strengths of the program. So
Yeah.
I value it deeply.
Thank you so much. So beautiful. Thank you. Espresso, what about you? How did it feel for you to be around other women and to support?
Well, as the only European that I was in my group, I wasn't feeling any different. I mean, I think that deep inside, all the feminine is the same. the concept of the feminine. And then okay, we get our specific colors and our specific juices. Every woman has their own uniqueness, but in the essence what we want and what we cherish and what we kind of in the essence, like, we are all the same. And this is what I experienced deeply in the group. And we it was a very a portal for us, because it was even COVID that time. And it was it is, but at that time was really hard. And everybody was like providing that safe space to share, to give feedback to each other, to empower each other. And we were so happy for each other accomplishments, seeing each other like on the road of developing this goddess within. And we were supporting on that road, everyone to everyone, of course, with you, Luba, as the main captain of this ship. And yeah, so we are getting this encouragement. And it was really, the process became a lot more easier. The process, when you were even, because even when there were weeks that we have a setback, for example, the oldest woman that were looking at you with love and with light, and were reminding you about all the good accomplishment, all the steps that you took from the initial part until now, that would give you so much hope and encouragement. So yeah, sisterhood is the best thing, like that I experience, also one of the best, of course.
Thank you so much. And we also have a Magnetic Woman retreat, of course, that hopefully soon the pandemic will be over and everyone can join. So yes, we are together, our power multiplies. And we're here to not only heal ourselves and to get into the best relationship of our lives, of course. And this is something that can happen for you. And if this is something that you are dreaming of and you're ready for, uh, put it into the comments. I'm ready. I'm committing to love. And if you're the woman who's choosing love in general, love starts with yourself. So the beginning of our journey is inward. Then we magnetize the right partner who can co-create with you, who is not just going to be someone to pass time with, or someone just to travel with, or someone that is going to be actually another weight in your life. It's going to be someone who's going to support not only you but also your vision of what it is that you are here to create. So clarity on who you are and what it is that you want to contribute to the world is extremely important, because that is also what magnetizes the right kind of partner, a creative partner, a stand-up guy, the rock, the sexy captain, whatever great archetype we're getting, instead of, let's say, Peter Pans or femme man or narcissist. So we are going to magnetize those kind of men. Why? Not only to enjoy the partnership, but also to create something together in this world, and maybe create a family together, like what Spressa is coming into at her level. Well, Vivian has many daughters already, and so she's a mother. She's a hero mother, right? I know in Russian what it says, mать героиня, but I don't know how do you say it in English. So, but yeah, what how do you call it in English, Vivian?
Um,
When the mother has many children, is there a term?
I don't know.
Invent one. Okay, I'll invent one. So yes, Vivian is a mother veteran. Okay, so tell us how many children
Hero.
you have.
Well, I have 10 daughters and 2 sons,
Right? Okay, you
right?
got that? You heard that? 10 daughters and 2 sons. And Vivian is in the program and she's already magnetizing men. That is amazing. That is fantastic. Because why? Because when she was stepping into the program, she said, I realized this is my time. That's it. This is my time. And that is so true. So whatever it is that you want to create in your life or co-create, once you get the right partner to co-create with, then it is the next turn is for both of you to become the rock for the world, for both of you and for all of us as a tribe, as a sisterhood, as people who stand for love in this human consciousness, people who are really here to represent love, because there is not enough love. There is not enough love. There are so many dark places still on the planet that could use somebody who has faith, who knows tools, who has tools, techniques, methods, and who can really make a difference. And that is really what we're here for. It is about knowing how to love and to be loved in balance, in oneness, with service to the world as your main motivation. And that is actually what's going to make you and your partner and your community the happiest, to be of service. And this is all that we have for tonight. Is there anything that you would like to add, anyone? Shpresa?
I would like to add only thank you for this opportunity to go live into these groups. I know that there are so many magnetic women that will be able to see this live. And I also want to give an advice, if I may,
Please.
because for myself, every time that you have lives and every time that you record a YouTube video or publish something, write something, for me it's a golden advice. I always take it, and even though I was in a program, I'm still uh, getting all this new notification of the things that you are providing, because I really like and love deeply these teachings that you have, because I tried it on my own, first of all, and the second of that is because I applied it and they worked, and I'm an evidence, a living and walking evidence of that. And this is why I recommend it with all my heart and with all the purity of my being, to everyone, to just experience those and try those and see how it works for them. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful words. Okay. Okay. Vivian, do you want to add anything where you where
I just feel like I have grown so much in the time that I've been in the program. It does help you love yourself. It does grow your feminine side, and it brings out that wonderful wild woman part of you that is indeed my favorite. So I highly, highly recommend the program, and I've loved every session of it. It is really made a clear change in my life.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Linda.
Wow, thank you so much. Again, this is also the first time I'm actually bringing in somebody to my lives too. So in some way, it's the first time for me as well. So I'm very touched. Thank you. Thank you so much. So everyone, yes, start a conversation with us. lubaevans.com/15 minutes. I think the link should be in the post. And yeah, be around, come talk to us. We're here to support, to grow, also to grow our sisterhood for our own sake and for the sake of the world.